Hey babies. Hey. Right, I'm absolutely fucked today. My energy is not booming. Had a lot of dreams fighting off some evil energies, so it's kind of getting the life out of me, but we're all good. The read's still happening. I've actually just opened God led me to this passage in the Bible, so I'm just going to start off reading that. Jesus said unto him, It is written again, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and sheweth him all the kingdoms of the world, and the glory of them, and saith unto him, All these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then saith Jesus unto him, Get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him. Amen. So that is from Matthew. Sorry, I'm just trying to work out whereabouts here. We've got Matthew 4:7 down to 11, if you wanna. Anyway, Matthew, I fucking love Matthew. I think that's my favourite. I mean, I've really not read the Bible in completion whatsoever, but I really like Matthew. Anyway, right, let's get the fire in here. Come on, beautiful flame. Let's get rid of this dark energy. Let's bring your light to the world. It's time. I wonder if it's light enough in here for this. Oh well, I'll have to do. Okay. Come in here, water. Please cleanse this space. Please purify any dark energies. Thank you for your renewal. Thank you for dreams, intuition, the chaos. Okay, I should be able to keep it grounded today because I'm so tired. With my Taurus energy, right? I'll keep it real for you guys. And let's just breathe in that breath of life. Let's get God into our entire body so we feel connected to God through our body, okay? So deep, long, slow breath in, and then release all that shit back out. I think it's like 70% of toxins can be removed through the breath, right? It's really powerful. So let's do that together. Okay, awesome. What are we on today? We're on, wait, is that right? What day are we on? I'm a bit lost. Is it? This is gonna fuck with the video. Tuesday, yeah, it is sacral. Right, so it's all about creativity, sexual energy, like sensual feeling. So you really get into your body today. Don't trip me up, for God's sake. Right, okay, let's get into this read. Lord Jesus Christ, please bless this read. I don't know what this is going to be today. I'm not sure. Right, so just show us what is the energy today, Lord. What do we need to see clearly? Please bring your clarity in for the people. for this collective reading. Right, it might not resonate with everyone, but that's okay. This is the message for the collective. Right, we've got the Five of Swords reversed. Right, I'm going to be a bit slow today, right, so just bear with me. Five of Swords reversed. I'd really appreciate some support today. Just like, comment, subscribe, right? Right, I'd really appreciate that today. Okay, so we've got the Five of Swords. Yeah, it's like, I kind of felt that might be coming out. So if anyone is not, we could be going over abuse in this read, all forms of abuse, is what I'm being told. So if you're not comfortable with that, this won't be the video for you, but thanks for tuning in anyway. And God bless you. Okay. If I ever forget to say that, it is not through bad intention. I just forget these things, right? Okay, so yeah, so it's like this deception, this betrayal, backstabbing energy is being revealed. This is brilliant, right? I'm really proud of the collective because there truly is a shift in consciousness, in global consciousness going on, and we're really starting to see that we need to separate from these energies that are opposing us, right? Because we're not going to get anywhere if we continually allow ourselves to be attached to something that wants to pull us back while we want to move forward. So it's like we're all going through this detachment, this cutting out of these negative energies, even though it's hard, and that's really good. So I'm like proud of you all. Like, it's really, really awesome. Yeah. Right. Yeah, we're coming into balance. We're starting to realize that, like, oh, we need to focus on what works for us, what serves us, what we want, right? Focus on what you want and leave. It's like we're leaving this behind. Look at him. He's not, balance isn't always like a cut down the middle. It's a nuanced dance of like balance doesn't mean you have to like everyone equally. Balance is actually like going towards what you are drawn to, and when you have a good intention, then like when you know your heart is pure and you do love the truth and things of God, you then your desires are pure and you can go for what you want, right? And you can leave other things behind. And that's what we're doing. It's like we're leaving that chaotic sea behind. We're starting to pinpoint what it is that is putting us in this feeling of chaos, and making us feel unbalanced. And we're following the infinite, right? We're following that infinite guidance, see here. See here, right? See here. Lord Jesus, please bless my mind to have clarity here, and bless me to be gentle on myself. Just clear my mind, Lord. It's not that my mind's not clear, it's tired. Right, let's see here. Yeah, so we've got the Eight of Cups in reverse. We're realizing, like I'm getting like we're starting to recognize like these people that won't leave us alone, or energies. It's like we're realizing there's something up with that like what is this clinging, this constancy that you can't get rest with. And it's like you just want to be alone, perhaps, just to get a sense of relief, like, and you're starting to question, like, why is that, right? There is a reason for that, and it's because there are people dark energies clinging to you and keeping you in this like low vibration, this, right? So if we think like that's the red, right? So red's like root chakra. It's like they're trying to keep you in this low, like unbalanced root chakra though, right? So like survival mode, like that's all you can do is like, yeah, oh my god, right, thanks Lord, yeah. Right, this is so obviously individuals make up the collective, right? So this is happening on a personal, individual level in your lives, I'm getting, right? But it's also happening on a grand scale. And look, we've got the 2 there and then the 8, so that's like both balanced, right? But it's happening on a grand scale, right? The evil powers that are in power, right, are trying to keep everyone in this low vibration, this survival mode where it's like eat, sleep, and go and slave for so that they don't have to do any work, right? All right, Lord. Yeah, we're getting a heavy message here today, right? But I can take that. We can take that, right? Right? You don't tune into this channel for fucking shallow bullshit. Like, no, I will not be doing that. Yeah, these dark entities are trying to keep us in darkness, disconnected from our intuition, right? Because that's in reverse, so it's like you're not allowed to walk away, right? Because the truth comes out when you're alone. This is why meditation or any type of sacrifice where you remove things from yourself, like fasting. I'm fasting at the moment as well, so it's like I'm just cleansing and detoxing, and this is why I'm a bit lower in energy. Right, so any of these practices, which remember are ancient practices, like it doesn't need to be connected to religion. These are ancient practices like meditation, breath work, because in some type forms of breath work you like heavy go into breathing, like rapid, like, and then once your body's like oxygen rich you like hold your breath, or like let go of the breath and then hold on empty, right? And that is again another type of sacrifice, and it can, anyway, all these things, like if you remove things, like, so the first stage of removal would be like any outlying problems, like the worst problem first, like, so if you've got an addiction, that's what you work on first, and then it's a continual process of like removing things, right? Because see, when you remove all the clutter and all the nonsense and the chaos and the noise, your mind is clean to receive. As I said yesterday, your mind is a receiver, your brain is a receiver. Like all these thoughts that you think and you're like, oh, it's not, right? You're actually getting thoughts from the divine and from the darkness, right? And you have to be able to discern which one is which so that you can follow the higher, okay? And that just takes practice. That takes time alone. And removal, right? But this is why currently we are in, right, what did they say with the Industrial Revolution? They said, like, they sold it to the people as, right, these machines are going to be able to take the shitty jobs that no one wants to do so that you'll have more time with your family and your freedom. Did that happen? Did it fuck people work now more than ever? People are stressed to fuck more than ever. People are more and more entertained than ever, right? I mean, just think, like, before, if you went on the train or out for a walk, or at night time you'd be looking under the stars, there was a lot more time for rest, and rest is the divine feminine state, the darkness, right? Nighttime. And the masculine state is activity, light, doing, action, right? These are the two forces of God, right? The yin and the yang, right? And I'm specifically talking about the West, right? Okay. The West is like like, sorry to go on there, but that's what it's like. It's like continuous doing. Like, there's a strong message of like, if you're not being productive, you're a bad person. If you're not working, if you're not doing, if you're not achieving, you're a bad person. This is intentional, because when you go away and rest, the truth comes in. When you take time to do nothing and just be, surrender, allow, the truth comes in. And my fuck, they do not want the truth coming in, because it's filthy. Like, there are evil powers in this world that go on behind the scenes, and the reason that we're all entertained so much and always doing something is because it's becoming more and more clear to people that this is all bullshit, that it's the fucking Matrix. And so they need more and more distraction, right? And think about it, right? What does a magician do? What's that called? Is it just distraction? No, it's not, is it? Anyway, you know what I mean? It's like, look over here while over here I do something else, right? That's what's going on. That's what's going on by these. Like, if you think that there's not a world government, you're sorely mistaken. Like, these differences between countries, it's all pantomime, right? It's all going towards one agenda, one control, which is satanic. This is not a godly time we live in. Just look at it clearly. Like, you don't need to take it from me. Take some time and it will come in. They want you stressed. They want you low vibration. Even look at like the adverts. Like, I don't watch the TV because I'm not fucking stupid, right? No offense, right? But if you watch the TV, that would be your first action to get rid of, right? Just, it is propaganda to the extreme. And once you're out of it, it's like repulsive. It's like, oh my goodness. It's a spell, right? It's hypnosis, right? If you listen to politicians, the way they speak, it's hypnosis speech. They use words to provoke an emotional reaction in you. You'll feel that. Tune into your body if you do listen to politicians or anything like that, or the news. It's all to incite an emotional reaction in you so that you believe it, right? It's fucking fake as fuck. Like, I have seen videos of the news stations during COVID, I don't even like to call it that, the lie, right? Of like 50 to 100 news stations. Obviously it'll be all of them, right? But there was this compilation of it, of them all saying the exact same words, the script. Why, if someone has the truth, they don't need to be scripted, right? Because they can just speak freely. Script. And the same numbers, as in like, oh, in blah 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 place there has been 33 as well, connected to masonry. 33 deaths at blah 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 blah. How can they be reporting the same story in different places? Because it's fucking fake, right? And people aren't taking that, removing themselves, right, from that trance, or that, like, going in to watch it, right? Once you remove yourself, you see the bigger picture. You're like, oh, this is all connected, right? But you can't do that when you're like, oh my god, this is so real. And again, what do they use? Fear? Was this pandemic scam not the most fear you've ever seen? Because they're losing grip, because more and more people are waking up. Like, this is what's so beautiful. Like, the internet has had so many negative effects, right? But it's had so many positive effects because people can connect the dots. People can connect over different places. And so as much as they try and use these devices and the internet and things like this to control, God's like, nah, I'm going to use it for good, right? So that's beautiful. There's always hope, and I'm always optimistic as fuck. I know that God will win, right? Because God's more powerful than the darkness, but we're going through that process at the moment, and we need to detach to be able to see. But people are so... This is the way this read's going to go, by the way, so I'm going to be doing a lot of talking. Because it's just coming through. This is what God wants me to say today, so, like, that's no problem. People are really scared to not tune in to the news, right? I've noticed this with people. It's fucking it's like this fear of missing out. But anyway, the bottom line is it's fear, right? And this happened to me the other day, right? Because I've not watched the news since 2013. 10 years, right? So this is why I'm able to have a clear mind, right? So anyway, and what was I saying? Oh yeah, right. So the other day I was having a conversation with someone, and it was like blah 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 about the news, and I was like, oh, I don't watch the news, and I instantly got this like attack of like it doesn't matter about what the words were, but the attack was, you're selfish as fuck because you don't care about what's going on with people. Fuck you. How dare you tell me what I care about or not? Because I'm not going to go and watch propaganda? I can see what's going on with people. I care about what people, how they are. That's why I do this, right? Because I want to help people become clear and have peace in their mind and not be always doing what everyone else is doing and stressed and not able to love themselves and not able to love other people and be happy. Like, so fuck you. But it was, I've had that a lot. Like, people are really like, and do you know what it is? It's because they're fucking jealous that they can't have the balls to go and stand and take comments like that, you know, and take that attack of, oh, you obviously just don't care. What if something happened to you? Shut the fuck up, right? So that's the kind of shit you have to deal with when you detach, which is why people don't detach, because this is what shows you if someone's godly or not, right? Because my strength comes from God. This is nothing about me. And so I know, and it's not as if I haven't struggled, right? Because it's not nice to have people always telling you that you're shit when you're not, right? It's not nice at all. And it's not nice to have no one to speak to. Like, these people can go and have their fake conversations about, oh, did you see that in the news today? It's all base, it's shallow. Like, I don't give a fuck about what the weather is, what the news is in that way. Like, I want a real deep conversation with someone, right? But these people are shallow, right? And it's because they don't have God. Because when you have God, you can be alone. Because you have that strength and you know that you're right, and it's not about being right. It's just about the truth, and like, I will always follow the truth. Like, I don't care where that leads me. If that leads me to death, like, then so be it, you know. Because it's not important. This material world is not as important as... This material world is very full of illusions, okay? Because we can't see God with our physical eyes. Even though, you know, you can if you're not closed off to it, right? Okay, I'm going to pull another card because that's enough said on that. But yeah, I mean, if you even look at, like, the way the decline has come in, like, I mean, I get, like, strongly, the thing I hate the most is this sexualization. The stuff that we are showing to children is unacceptable. The music that is played on the radio during the day, this isn't like after 9 o'clock or something, like adult channel time. This is during the day, and it's like talking about bitches shagging in the club and all this shit. And it's like, that is going into children's minds. They are being raised with that low frequency. And I think I said before that they changed the frequency of music. I can't remember when. 50s, 70s, something like that, right? And it's a lower vibration. It's like a trance state, perhaps. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a different vibration to what our bodies are in harmony with, right? So what's that all about? Of course that's not common knowledge, right? Of course, just don't go to anything mainstream for truth, advice, or wisdom, right? If you just want to have friends, then that's the place to go. Like, if you want fake friends so that everywhere you go in life you can have an easy conversation about whatever the fuck nonsense you want to, then that's up to you, right? But if you want to be better and to have peace, then you're gonna have to start discerning. And it'll feel crazy at first because you're like, oh, I basically have to cut out everything. Like, yeah, that's it, right? But then you have peace and happiness and strength because you have the Lord, and the Lord will give you your dreams and will strengthen you when you go through that fear, right? And it's okay to be afraid. There's no judgment on being afraid. It's just about moving through that, knowing that it's the right thing and that you're strong enough. And the more times you do that, pardon me, the more you realize that fear's a liar, and that you can go through it. And this start incrementally. It's like, what's that called? Like when you have a phobia of something, like say you're arachnophobic, right? And so the process of that, right, for healing that is like introducing that thing. It is not about running away from it. Yet you will see that what is the current climate? It's, victim mentality. Like you can't say things, you can't do things. It's all about protecting the most victim fucking whiny bitch in the world. It's like, no, that's not how it works. You don't solve a problem by running away from it. Like, what is this idea? It's absolutely backwards. So at first, like, you would maybe think about a spider and try and deal with that. Then you might look at a picture of a spider, then try and go through that. And then eventually you might go outside of a place, like an insect world place, like knowing that spiders are in there. And eventually, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a progression, right? So it doesn't matter where you start from. Start with the thing you think might be manageable first, right? And then you build up, and then you start realizing, like, fear, get fucked, right? So yeah, just notice. I mean, what did the mental health fucking look like with all this fucking nonsense the last 2 years? Oh, yeah. Suicides. Abuse. Fear. And it's funny because people know, like, in that kind of general sense, like, oh, politicians lie, ha ha ha. The news, like, promotes, like, fear creates financial gain for the news, right? If they didn't tell you something's really important and it's urgent right now that you tune in because you need to know that how many people have died, fuck off, right? Then you wouldn't tune in, then they wouldn't make money. We have to follow the money trail. Does this person giving me advice have an agenda? Oh, they make a lot of money. They make a lot of money off of these vaccines. They make a lot of money off of these masks. They make a lot of money off of this news story. And they also gain control at the same time? That sounds like the perfect dream for a satanic narcissist fucker. Like, we are getting presented these narcissists in the public eye and we're all like, oh, they have so much confidence. We're like drawn to that. It's like, no, they're narcissists. Like, they're psychopaths. Their ability to control their emotions is because they have no emotions. Like, that's what we need to realise. Okay. Alright, I'm getting pumped up now, thanks Lord. Right. I've got the Knight of Cups here. What's this all about? Yeah, so we're being stopped from going away into our intuition. So remember, cups is like water, intuition, dreams, like the divine feminine, right? The sea, the dark chaos, which brings purification. Yeah, which brings purification, right? If we can go into, like, dream work's really helpful as well. If you start writing down your dreams and analysing them. So here's a tip for analysing your dreams, right? Let's say you... Oh, God, this is quite difficult, actually. Think of things literally to find the symbolic meaning. Like, alright, give me an example. Like, let's say there's something about your shoes in your dream, right? And then start thinking about, like, okay, what is a shoe? A shoe is something that is on your feet, that touches the ground. So it might be about you don't feel grounded, or, you know, I'm not maybe not explaining that well, but that's the way that I do it. I bet you can look up, there's toads? There's tons of things on Dreamwork online, right? And this is the thing, we have the fucking internet. Why are we paying for news, right? Remember, even if you're not paying, advertisements, people don't seem to understand this, right? They make money, it's not fucking free, right? Because your attention is your wealth. That's why they want to grab your attention. Fucking remove that shit. Keep your attention to yourself and to things that you desire. And online has... everything online that is free is fucking beautiful. Like, true people will offer their cup freely, right? Because they want to help. I'm not saying they can't make some money, right? Because they need to survive, right? But the internet is everything you need, you don't have to pay for, is what I'm saying, right? You don't need to take a course. Right, this is what happened to me, right? Because I started to realise that my role here is as a shaman, right? I started to realise that, but I had a lot of doubts with it. And there's a lot of people out there like selling like courses to become a shaman and all this shit. And it's like God was saying to me, nah. Look at these people. Like, they're promoting lies that you know are lies, like this pandemic bullshit, right? And I was like, okay, like, what do I do? And God is like, you're having an apprenticeship with me. So that's what I've been doing, is learning from spirit and no one else. That doesn't mean I research all the time and I take advice all the time, but it's from people that I know are genuine, right? So it's all about, we have to learn to discern. Learn to discern. Learn to discern. And it's a long journey. And it's lonely. And you will have doubts. And that's all okay. But it's about doing that with God. Like this is a messenger. Right? And a good guide is to research the things you're interested in. Because you're interested in the things that you're interested in for a reason, because your specific path is linked to your desires, funnily enough, right? You know, God wants you to have your dream, okay? Yeah, and another way to tell is that, look, this horse is humble, right? He's not like, he's like, you know, pure. Like, this person isn't gonna like ram you in the face. I mean, sometimes I ram in the face a little bit. But this horse is humble. The message will come from a humble person, and you'll be able to feel this with the water, right? So trust your feeling, trust your gut, trust your fucking gut. And when you feel unbalanced and like you can't trust your gut, go and breathe deeply, alone, in silence. If you can't handle the silence at first as well, that's okay, right? Listen to guided meditations, have like soothing music or trance music alone. If you can't handle the silence at first, that's okay. It doesn't matter where you are at on your journey. It's just about taking that first step. Look, he's taking that first step, isn't he? Even though he maybe feels worried about it, unsure, but it's because of this pure heart that'll lead you, right? If your intention is pure, that you really truly want the truth, peace, love, then go towards that, right? Take that first step. All right, I'm quite liking this message, Lord. Thank you. Yeah, and that will lead you to the King of Cups. Your emotions won't be able to be manipulated anymore. Like, all this shit can go on around you, like attacks, chaos, blah, 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 blah. But look at him. Is he bothered? No. He's stable as fuck in the chaos because he's connected to his emotions, because he has understood that feeling is as important as thinking. He's able to keep his emotions to himself, but also give them to people who deserve them. So it's all about protecting our energy, our emotions, and not letting them be manipulated. Like, this is the same with like any of these mainstream fucking things like Amazon, which, oh, by the way, like, where did all the wealth transfer go during the pandemic? Oh, right. Oh, so you're not allowed to have your own business. You're not allowed to have all these things, but Amazon and Hollywood can still all run fine, can't they? Fuck Hollywood. Fuck all these new films. It's disgusting propaganda. It is the decline of this empire, and it promotes sexuality to children. And it's fucking vile. It's disgusting, and God does not fucking approve. That is coming through me now. God does not approve of this. Our children are sacred and they should be allowed to be innocent. This is not acceptable. And all this, it's guilt tripping, isn't it? It's like, oh, you're transphobic. You're racist. All this isms, blah, 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 blah. Fuck off. I know what I am. I can speak, right? Freedom of speech. Fuck you. Because there's blue here, right? Fuck you. You think I'm not going to speak up for children? No fucking way. No fucking way. You're not taking my children. And what have they been doing in the schools over all this time? Abusing children. I saw a video, it's fucking years ago now as well, and it was a boy in a Scottish school, and he was like filming secretly this thing, right? And he had been isolated, right? Is that not punishment? Like in a prison? Yes, right? So punished, taken away from the class. I think maybe the video started when he was in the class, although I'm not sure anyway, and then he gets removed. For simply saying that there are two genders. I'm sorry, like, I am not up for this denial of reality. It's not happening with me. I don't give a fuck what you call me. Call me whatever the fuck you want. I know. Right? There is a reality, there's an objective reality. There is subjective as well, but things are not all relative. Right? There is a truth. There is an objective fucking truth. There's things that are bad for people and things that are good for people. And we are promoting things that are bad for people, like victim mentality. Weakness. We're promoting like even on the fucking it's all like, oh, we care like about if people drink or not. Yeah, we'll have adverts for like alcohol like in the shops. Like, we promote addictions, we promote in all forms. Like, it's all like, oh yeah, porn's fine, binge watching programs is fine, like just being a shitebag's fine. Like, hating your children. I've heard this from a lot of people and it fucking disgusts me. People that are like, oh, like they're like nasty about their children, like kind of, oh, thank fuck they're back at school. It's like, what is wrong with you? Even the fact, right, what other animal in the fucking animal kingdom gives up their young to be looked after by some other animal entity thing? This is long. This is what I'm saying, right? This is not like in our own lifetime that this decline has been coming in. This is long. This is satanic. This is from the beginning of time. And now we're at this point where we're going to fucking break through it, by the way, that no one even questions giving away their children. I was put in a nursery at 6 months, years old, which means I was in the system from 6 months until, well, all the way fucking up. Nursery, primary school, high school, university. So, and that's purposeful. Like, oh, you're not educated until you're what, like in your 20s? And most people are going into university now, which means it means nothing, because then all it is propaganda, and I knew it was propaganda there, like, fuck me. And there's that push as well, like, you know, they want to make you feel... It's all about manipulating your emotions. So they're like, oh, they want people want to think they're smart, right? So we'll just keep lowering the, what's it called, like requirements to get into university. Everyone gets into university. It's not a fucking achievement. My degree is in no way an achievement. In no fucking way. I'm not joking here. It is brainwashing, right? And they want that, right? If you look at like shamanic cultures or like tribal cultures, they have that feels pretty good. Woo, woo, woo. To and fro, to and fro. If you look at these cultures, right, they have like a rite of passage. So for men, there's a different rite of passage from women, right? You know, some of them will throw them fucking get, what is it, like that toad medicine, right? They'll take that, chuck them in a fucking forest. Like, if you come back alive, you'll be my son. You'll be worthy to be my son. Like, yeah. Like, we're meant to be teaching our children to be responsible adults who can look after themselves, not babies. Even think about how that has declined. Like, children used to go out and be responsible. They could do things. Look at them now. They're getting babied the fuck out of. And oh, what is that related to? Oh, all the news and the fear. Yes, right, it's all starting to come together now, isn't it? Yes. Right, so we pulled out there the High Priestess, right? This is what we need to do. We need to connect to the Divine Mother who sees in the darkness. This is darkness, right? We have to look into the darkness. We do not have the right to avoid looking at this any longer. That's what God's saying. Like, you do not have the right to think, oh, like watching this video is too heavy for you. And obviously you do, right? But I mean, continuously. Not even just this video, but you don't have the right, if when someone presents you with truth, to be like, oh, I don't like that, that's negative. Yes, it's negative, because we've been doing this for fucking generations and generations and generations of putting it under the rug because it makes you feel uncomfortable. Because why does it make you feel uncomfortable? Because it's a reflection of you and your problems and the things that you haven't faced. That's why it's uncomfortable, right? And the longer we avoid it, the worse it gets. Is that not been happening? Like, I'm not making this up. Look at history, right? Look up Sir John Glubb. He analysed like 4,000 years worth of history, right? And came up with like patterns of the rise and fall of empires, right? And this is absolutely word for word what we're going through right now. I won't go into it too much, but all the things that we're seeing in society that I've just pointed out are noted and analysed by him. And you can get it free online, a PDF. and it's short, and it's like go specifically to the bit about what are like the list of signs that you'll see in a society, in an empire when it's in its collapse phase. It's here, right? And people would rather just mindlessly watch shite, base things to distract themselves and make it okay, and then hang around with people that validate their shitty behaviours, like sleeping around and drinking and not caring about people, right? It's all validation. This is what, yeah, right? And we need to step into that power. Look, this is like divine masculine, divine feminine, right? We need to look at this ancient wisdom. This is another thing that society does purposefully. It's like, it always belittles the past and history. Like, oh, those ancient cultures used to think that thunder was God because they didn't know any better. Stop being so fucking arrogant. It's really quite repulsive, right? You think that everyone that came before you was lower than you. How come we're dealing with the same fucking problems then? How come the Bible, if you actually care to read it, has wisdom that absolutely applies today? Because we haven't sorted out these base problems. We're still fighting between genders. We're still fighting between races. Think we would have sorted that shit out by now? No, because we're only concerned about pleasure. Pleasure is not inherently good. There's nothing wrong with pleasure, but it is not inherently good. Fulfilling your base desires is not godly, right? And not everything that came before was dumb. Science is not opposed to religion or religious thought, right? Because you understand the mechanics of how thunder and lightning work, that does not say anything about why, right? You're getting scolded today. That's it, thanks Lord. Right, so justice came out in reverse. We need to look at the injustices. Because it's not fair to bring in selfishly children, a new generation, another life that is completely unique in its own. Like, your child is not your property, right? You don't just get to do what you want to your child. And people are bringing children in an unsacred form. Like, it's not through love and like a true desire to love them, right? And people are so afraid, it actually repulses me. People are so afraid to stand out from the crowd and say, like, for example, like, no, I'm taking my child out of school, I'm homeschooling, right? And then what you hear the same thing from these people. I remember having a conversation about this before, and I got attacked by these friends of mine, and it was like, oh, they won't get socialised. You'll notice that these people all say the same thing. Why is that? Because they listen to the common, that whatever the news says, like, oh, homeschooling people are crazy. And then that actually works. People are so fucking weak, right? That just not being liked by someone, having a little disagreement with someone is enough for them to abuse their child. Their child will come home miserable and being bullied, blah, 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 all this. No, you have to go. What the fuck? And just think as well, right? We used to live in a time where father works, provides, mother nurtures at home and takes care of the children, right? How the fuck have we got to a stage where now both parents work, there are 2 full-time incomes in a lot of cases, and yet there's still no extra? People should be like living in mansions, surely, if they've got double what they used to have. No, do you know what it is? They've managed to now get double the slaves, take away the children so that they can brainwash them out of their family values from a young age when their minds are not able to fight off that fucking brainwashing, right? And double the taxes. Isn't that funny? Isn't that just funny? That must just be a coincidence, eh? Because of course no evil exists, and like no one would actually want to do that, right? These people are long-term thinkers, right? These dark evil powers. Thank you. I can't stress enough how long this has been going on. This is deep. This is not new. It's just getting worse and worse and worse because we will not look into the darkness because it reflects our own flaws, and we're not brave enough to look at it, which means we sacrifice children. Because it's the children that suffer, and it's the children that do not fucking deserve it. And we need to think about it from that higher perspective of the child, because it's hard just to do it for ourselves, right? There's nothing wrong with using a motivation outside of yourself. If you don't love yourself, you don't really care for yourself, then you do all these base things, right? But you need to think about your relationship. If you love your partner, if you love your family, if you love your children, like that's what you have to use as your motivation, because that's strong and that's godly, and then you will be strong enough to face this shit. And guess what? It's not that bad being alone. Like once you look at the darkness, you sort of shit out, cleanse that shit, God guides you and forgives you because you're genuine, pure and honest, then it's like, what the fuck ever. Like, come for me. Fucking try it. Fucking try it. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles. Look. This is like a mother. Look, this is like a mother and a child, right? This card, right? This card. This is a mother nurturing her child in a home of her own creation, giving her fertility and abundance and sweetness with the pears there on her chair, creating this nurturing environment. Right, that's the mother's role. I know people don't like that shit, but it's true. Like, there are actually roles. You can, and I have no problem with you being more masculine or more feminine as a man, right? It's nothing about that. But there's a true form of a woman. There's a true form of a man that's godly, right? And going back to that, when I was talking about the rites of passage, right? So the boy does that. The rite of passage for a woman is motherhood, right? Pregnancy is a sacrifice. You don't get to do the shit that you want anymore, right? You have to take care of your body, take care of your child, and have that long period of discomfort, right? And then you go through the excruciating pain of pregnancy, and then you look after your child, you sacrifice, right? So they've been stopping that. We've got contraception, people aren't having children anymore until they're like old, and then they're not wise because they're meant to go through that at a young age. I don't mean like young, but a lot younger than it's happening now, right? It's all designed that way. There's something else about that. Anyway, I'll come back, I'm sure. So yeah, this is in reverse, right? So they're taking away children from mothers. You try and do that to a fucking bear in the wild. Or any mother in the wild, like, that's not fucking happening. That shows how fucked up we are, that we're apparently the most ascended animal, and the most intelligent animal, yet we've lost our fucking brains. We've lost listening to those instincts. Instincts are there for a reason. You are, as a human, an animal and a higher up conscious being, right? The point is to be both. And if you don't realize that you're an animal, then your animal desires will control you and keep you binded to actually being an animal. Because it's all these people that have animalistic behaviours, like just going around shagging and doing whatever the fuck they want and eating whatever the fuck they want and just base, right? They're the people that think they're the smartest, most ascended people. And it's like, you're literally an animal. Like, please show me any of your behaviours that are not your animal desires and like your just impulsiveness. You have no control over yourself. That's an animal, right? Fucking shout out to animals, I love you. Like, that's not a disrespect, but that's just the hierarchy, right? And when you give up your child, you give up your gold. The true godly way to live is that your children, I mean, do I even have to fucking say this? Apparently I do. Is that your children are the most precious things to you ever, and you do not let them go. You don't let anyone harm them. Yet we're all doing that. And now we're at a stage where people are so much in this consumption mindset. They always need to consume and buy things to make themselves feel better because they're living in an ungodly manner, that they don't have enough money to be like, right, okay, actually, in this couple, right, I'm going to stay home and look after the children so that we don't have to put them in this fucking brainwashing camp. Because they would rather have these material possessions in the look, that's like disgusting materialism over the pure gift of nurturing. It's sick. That's the thing I was going to say. So they're also doing this with pregnancies, right? Pregnancies used to be dealt with by like midwives, right? By a woman who understands, funnily enough, what it is. And it's a spiritual experience, right? To give birth. Because it's, again, going through that fear and pain and coming out the other side in ecstasy and with this gift of a child, right? That's what it's meant to be. What do? We take people into clinical, disgusting, bright hospitals where there's none of that homely nurturingness, where they can feel relaxed and just and go through this journey, right? C-sections are on the absolute beyond increase, because it's just like, oh, my shift finishes at 4, right, cut her open. If the child doesn't come through the vaginal pathway, they're not as, there's like something to do with like the bacteria and all that in that pathway that makes that they have like a stronger immune system, right? Breastfeeding also on the decline, same thing with that. And of course, this is major surgery to cut someone open and take the baby out. I have no problem with doing that in emergency cases. I would never, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But it is not going that way. Look at the figures, right? The figures are fucking astronomical. And this only happened within like the last 100 years. Like, this is not normal, right? But because we're all so disconnected from our families and our ancestors, we don't even know. It's like, oh yeah, like you just go to the hospital, get yourself cut open, and then you've got a baby. That's the other thing, right? If the child, there we go, I forgot about that, thank you. If the child does not come through that natural pathway, the oxytocin, I think it's that, you know, that the love hormone, drug, whatever, chemical, does not get released, which does not bond it, like, it's meant to be an ecstatic bond when the child, I felt that there, an ecstatic bond when the child is born and is with the mother. It's like, that chemically happens, right? That does not happen in a C-section. Again, it's fucking on purpose, because then you're happy to give away your child to someone else because you don't even fucking care about them. And we see that, the amount of mothers that you see that just do not care about their children is horrific, right? And this is another part of the puzzle. Another thing that's been taken away from you, home birth. There's another responsibility that's been taken away. They keep removing responsibilities from you and guising it as like, well, then you'll have more time to be a mindless fucking orc and have your base pleasures. Like, wake up. Removal of responsibilities is not a good thing. What does that keep you as? A baby who's helpless, who relies on the government, which is exactly what happened during this fucking lie over the past 2 years, is businesses were shut down so that you couldn't stand up and fight for yourself because you don't have any financial freedom. They're taking away responsibilities and telling you that you'll be more free. No, they're taking away your freedom. Who would want to do that? God doesn't want to take away your freedom. Because you follow God's word, right? People get this twisted. They think like, because you have to obey God, that is freedom. That is freedom because it's freedom in your mind. You don't have to panic anymore. And I can't tell you that that's gold. That is gold, right? But these people that pretend like, oh, look, it's like a parent that gives their child like loads of sweets, right? And so on the surface level, that looks like, oh, they really love me. They give me everything I want. Like, that's true love. No, it fucking isn't. Everything's a balance, right? My number just came up at that time I said that. Shout out to me. Thanks. Because then you're bound, right? If you then become an obese child, which again is growing, increasing, and no one's like, this is child abuse, this is child abuse, this is child abuse, plain and simple. And the only reason we can't look at it is because it's like, there's child abuse everywhere, it's too much. Well, we need to look at it because it's only going to increase and it's disgusting, right? So an obese child is trapped. They're not going to have confidence. They're not going to have good health. They're not going to be able to feel good about themselves and run about with other children. So how is that freedom? A true parent doesn't give a fuck about what their child thinks of them in the moment. If their child's like, Mom, you're so evil because you didn't give me sweets, it's because I fucking love you. And they'll learn that. But these people are weak and are like, just give them everything they want. And it kills them. Right? Woo! Thank you, Lord. Yeah. Look at this. 5 of Cups in reverse. So we need to stop thinking about ourselves and cloaking ourselves from the darkness because we're ashamed. Because there's something higher. The relationship with any pure relationship. It doesn't need to be a child, right? But I'm very motivated by children. Because they're fucking pure, they're sacred, they're innocent, they need to be protected. Like, to be honest, if you don't think that, then fuck you, right? Yeah, we need to let go of our selfishness and our protection of ourselves incorrectly because it affects other people. And that's what these powers and governments are very good at disguising. Well, yeah, it seems to work. Disguise, right? They're very good at making it seem like nothing has any effect. This is again the attack on God, right? It's like, oh, there's no consequences to actions. You can tell someone that they're actually the opposite gender, let them go through surgery, ruin their own life, and then they kill themselves, but there's no consequences to actions. Like, you can do what you want, you know, there's no objective reality. There is an objective reality. Look at the suicide rates for these trans people after surgery. Huge. Because they don't tell them all the fucking downsides of it. They don't tell them that they're going to lose their hair, that they're going to not feel okay because they are actually their own gender and they have been tricked and manipulated to see the problem not as it is. It's been disguised, right? People who are thinking that they do not belong in their own body, it's because of trauma. Because they've gone through such horrific trauma that they it's like dissociation, right? What happens when you dissociate? You don't feel in your body, right? So the more and more times you've had trauma and dissociated, you feel completely detached from your body and you hate yourself. And so they've been sold that the fix to that is, again, quick fix. Oh, we'll just chop you into pieces, sew you back up together. It's just as easy as that. No. Because the real problem, again, that we don't want to be releasing is that these people have been deeply abused. That's why they're having all these symptoms. Like, I'm not fucking standing for this anymore. I can see that that's what it is. I don't give a fuck what you think, right? If you want to say I'm a transphobe, like, whatever. I care about these people. I actually care about these people because I can see that they've been abused and now they're getting sold another abusive line by the fucking society, because people are so fucking scared to just be like, to see clearly. If someone's having symptoms of not feeling okay and feeling depressed and feeling ugly, it's because of something. They weren't just born into the wrong body. Like, are you fucking joking, man? Right. I'll get my balance back. Thank you, Lord. Calm down, Michelle. Okay, right. That might just be for me. Honestly, when you get me passionate, there's no going back. No, I think it is part of the read though. Yeah, we need to bring balance back. And to understand the masculine and the feminine. The giving and receiving energies, right? Giving, receiving, giving. The thing is, like, when it's actually the same thing. Like, the masculine and feminine are, like, different but also the exact same in their pure divine form. It's like, I've noticed this in breath work, right? When you get really deep into, like I do conscious connected breath work, just in case anyone's interested. And if you can get really deep into that, I've had experiences where I don't know whether I'm breathing in or out. What? It's so cool. It's like, yeah, I can't tell. And again, so that represents the divine masculine, divine feminine. Like, breathing in is like active, breathing out is letting go, right? And this is a huge, what's up, seagull? Seagulls keep coming to me. Thank you. I think this is the answer to all this nonsense, is understanding the divine masculine and divine feminine energies. And how they're both infinitely sacred and perfect. And that there is a corrupted form of masculinity and femininity and a divine form of those, right? It's like, you know, because we've removed women really from their role of being the caregiver to their child, we've really corrupted things beyond belief. Because you've taken away their purpose and you've told them throughout their school lives that if they don't go and get a career, they're like a gold digger, worthless, whatever. Gender equality, it's like, no. Things don't have to be equal in the exact form. Things can be equal by one person doing what they want and are drawn to, and the other person doing what they want and are drawn to. So we've stolen women's purpose by manipulating them to say, like, oh, you're just a housewife? You're just a mother, a full-time mother? What's more important than looking after your own children and doing it right and having the energy to look after your children? Like, tell me right now, if you're a parent and you work full-time, both of you work full-time, do you have energy for your children? Are you the parent that you dreamed you would be? Right? Is that important to you? Is that going to feel okay on your deathbed that you just weren't there for your children? And then you have to do these mental gymnastics of all their symptoms of not having enough attention and care are actually outside problems. It's not to do with you. Not acceptable. Take responsibility. And be guided by the angels. Thank you. Knight of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, it's a manipulation of work. It's working you to the bone so that you don't have time or energy to do anything. Right, I know I'm coming off harsh, right, because it needs to be harsh, right, but it's also, there is forgiveness once you see the truth, right? I don't hold it over your head for being manipulated by a machine of matrix bullshit that is intended to manipulate you. So I'm not saying that you're condemned forever, but you must look at the truth, right? This is designed to keep you this way, so don't feel so hard on yourself about it, but the harshness needs to come through for you to see it clearly, okay? That this overworking has been used to make you weak in your home life. And then what happens if your home life's not good because you don't have that balance in your relationships, like relationships and with your children and family and whatever, then things are more chaotic, things are more stressful, then you don't have the peace of mind to see when these powers are coming and strangling you slowly to death, taking away your freedoms and your rights, disguised as taking away those heavy burdens. Burdens are good, burdens are a blessing. Children are a burden, but they are a sacred burden. Because it's not about getting what you want all the time. Okay? It's not about that. There's something higher. My time again when I said that. What's up? Thank you, Laura, for speaking this message out. Yeah, there's something higher. Page of Pentacles. Page, child, right? When you have the time for your to look at your child with awe and wonder and to lift them up, not put them down. The amount of people that tell their children, like, they like attack them. Like, you can't do this. You can't follow your dream. You can't express yourself. What was the one I had there? You don't have those gifts. It's sick, right? But we need to be following God, following the truth, feeling the truth, getting in touch with our emotions, which means cutting out the bullshit emotions, the pettiness, the petty arguments and all this shite, right? Get rid of that, but tune into your true gut, right? And then that will tell you that you should go after the gold. Go after loving yourself and your family and the things that are actually important. Like, do you think on your deathbed you're going to be like, oh, thank God I worked 60 hours a week, and like, is your work there at your deathbed? No, it's your family. Yeah, you gave your whole life to your work. There's nothing wrong with giving your energy to work, right? Work is beautiful, right? When it's your true work, when it's your true dream passion. But slaving away for a company that doesn't give a fuck about you, I think that's going to feel good on your deathbed. When you sacrificed the ones that needed and loved you for that, it's slavery. Slavery has never ended. And growth, right? With the Page of Pentacles, it's like watching your child grow. Yeah, look at the way watching your child grow will give you those beautiful memories that once you're old and you're starting to, you've kind of come up the peak of your life and you're starting to wind down in your later years, right? You're going to hold on to those memories and cherish them. And that's the way it's meant to be. And you'll have that connection. Like, how many people now, I mean, think as well even that people used to live in one room in a house, right? Now people have huge houses, separate rooms, separate devices, everything's separated, right? And that of course is enticing, right? But it's all seen as progress is better, progress is better, progress is better, fuck the past, there's nothing good there. We were all idiots back then, but we're now also smart, like fuck that. It's like, hold up. Progress is beautiful, but you must also, you have to have both. You have to hold on to the truths that we've learned from the past. And there's ancient wisdom, and it's all free on the internet, right? So utilize that. Woo! See that? Yeah. Queen of Cups. This is all about getting back in touch with our gut instincts. That's what's been removed from us. You'll even notice it, like, I was at the train station a wee while back, and like outside, right, and just waiting for my train to come, you know? And every, like, honestly, like 30 seconds, the tannoy comes in with like, I'm like, oh my god, like, and I could tell I was the only one that was like severely suffering from it, because other people are just used to that noise the whole time. To me, it was like killing me, and it's that tone of like, just in case you were drifting off into a restful state and starting to let truth come in, we're gonna kill that. Like, again, intentional. Once you start to remove yourself, you start to see the patterns. You don't have to like, this is not about going for it. It's about releasing from all of the shit. All the things, like, you're not meant to feel tired, ill, stressed, alone, scared, blah, 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 blah. Like, God, that is not what God has. God has peace for you. Right? But you have to seek the truth. Right? It's like the golden snitch, the seeker, the alchemist, the gold, right? Something higher, something pure. Just because all your friends are doing slimy things, like, detach, right? Get in touch with your intuition, your dreams. There's something else there. You can even like look into prophecy. Like, there's ancient prophecies that are very, very interesting. Trust the visions in your mind, that they're there for a reason. And remember, everything doesn't need to be, like, the world is symbolic. This is why people are like, oh, look at these idiots, like, they believe, like, these myths. It's like, it's symbolism, it's imagery, okay? Sorry, but for fuck's sake, right? It's so arrogant. We have to remember to look at things as imagery and symbols, because that's where the truth lies. Right? Like, Lord of the Rings is a true story, right? Because the themes are true. The Bible, it doesn't matter that you're not living back then, the themes are still true today. All these ancient texts, the great ones like the Hermetica, that one's actually really just simple and not really symbols. But anyway, we have to understand symbolism and imagery. We have to regain that. We used to have that, right? When we lived in tune with nature, in the cycles, when we won, like, just think, we used to actually spend time just looking into fire around the fire together, telling stories. Stories are symbols, right? It doesn't need to be a literal interpretation, right? The wisdom comes in. We used to look at the stars and just wonder, right? We've lost that awe. We've lost that awe. And that's arrogant. It's arrogant to say, oh, I understand how this all works because of science. So I can't appreciate like the beautiful nature and just think like, what the fuck? Because that's what nature does. That's what it's there to do, is make you go, holy shit. It's there to humble you and make you feel small, but not in a bad way, in a humbling way. But we are being promoted as a society to think we're the top. Instead of being like, whoa, like look at all these signs, and like you can learn from nature. Nature's trying to teach you, which is another reason why we've been removed and put into little boxes and curled over and just to looking at this thing that's being provided by one, like most people are watching mainstream things, right? That's why it's called mainstream. So that means one entity, because it is, right? And you can look that up. One entity is what everyone's looking at. Like her there. Like people's phones. Everyone's like hypnotized. Right? Was it not hypnosis what's gone on in the last 2 years? Everyone's saying the same thing. No, every person that challenged it and tried to critically think about it outside of that squashed, censored. I'm sorry, but the truth does not censor. People should be able to speak freely because then you know what this person's about. Censorship is control of your divine birthright to use your voice. If someone says something mean to you or nasty or bad, then you walk away from them. If they can't speak because it's illegal for them to say something, then you don't know to walk away from them. You should thank fuck that they can speak, because then you go, oh, they're a bit fucking not for me. Bye. Right? Alright, what's the last card, Lord? Let's wrap this up. Thank you. 7 of Pentacles. Yeah, it's all about making that long-term investment. 7 on the spiritual path. And it will feel at first very difficult, right? Look, he's like, this is not about me saying this path is easy. Fucking hell no, it's not easy, but it gets easier the more you do it, okay? Because you start to reap the rewards, but at first you've only got this one little pentacle, which is yourself and God, right? You have to be alone. You have to be separate from all this, right? But if you invest in the right place, which is the holy, then things will grow, but it takes time, and that's the part where you need faith. But you have to make the right investment. Make the investment in truth, love, and it's really like the energy of this on the whole is about listening to your gut instincts, to your intuition, to understanding that psychic abilities are real, right? The people who are in power, who are evil, are utilizing psychic powers for bad ends, right? And that's why they want you to think like, oh, that's all woo-woo, that's all... Some people are, right? There's a lot of charlatans, but that's the people they promote. Is like, look, here's a psychic, this fucking idiot, and then like they prove to be cheating or something, right? There's a reason that they show that, so that you don't think that's real, so that you get into this like imbalanced state, which like the only real thing is logic and masculine things, because then you're not as connected as being a mother, then you're active all the time to the point of destroying your mind, You're not able to rest and recuperate and trust yourself and look after yourself and other people, because it's always go, 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 go. There's no time to think and to process and to feel. So this is all, I'm getting really heavy divine feminine energy. But of course, to have divine feminine energy, you do need divine masculine energy, and that's the cutting through the bullshit and being like, no, that doesn't make sense, right? No part of the pandemic made any logical sense. And that shows how much that fear and manipulation of emotions can twist people's minds. But that's why people have been having all these symptoms of twisted minds. And then it's like, oh, it's just because of COVID. It's like, no, it's because you're lying about what was going on. Because it's plain as fucking day. I mean, for fuck's sake, it really was an eye-opener to me of how many people are asleep, right? I'm not trying to be nasty. If I come across that way, it's not intentional. It's just so destructive. The effects of this are so destructive on children, and I'm really passionate about that. I fucking hate it. Okay, but I'm not judging you for being there. We're all ignorant until we're not, okay? We're all asleep until we're awake, okay? So that harshness isn't from judgment of you. I understand if you're in that space, but I encourage you to seek the higher realms, seek spirituality, seek the sacred path, seek truth, okay? Like, I'm here for you, right? If you got no friends, you can come to me. Okay? I really do care. But if you think I don't, then fuck you, because you obviously can't see clearly. See, you gotta have a bit of fuck you and a gentle side, right? It's all about the both, okay? But there is no judgment in my heart. There's judgment in my mind of things that need to be cut through. Like, things, it needs to be cutthroat for some things, right? Because it's serious, right? Children being abused is a serious matter. I'm not going to back down on that, okay? But my heart understands why, and my heart has nothing but love for people who have been tricked and manipulated. Like, I don't blame you, but what I want you to understand is that you have divine power within you, alone, away from everyone else. You're created of God, right? So when you don't feel powerful and you feel like you always need to like ask someone else or look to someone else for advice, you shouldn't always be doing that, right? It's fine to go get advice and things and feel if it resonates to guide you, but you need to sit alone and ask yourself, okay? And ask God, which is by yourself. Clear the clutter, clear the noise. Yeah! Thank you, Lord. Just checked under the deck there because I thought that might be important right now. Fuck yes it is! You're powerful. That's my main message to you. Don't you fucking dare ever think you're not powerful, that you can't do it alone, by yourself, with the higher, but by yourself. If you have to let everyone go from your life, let me tell you, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. Because once you let go of all the bullshit, then you can see clearly and you can love yourself and you can heal. Then God starts sending in those good people for you, right? I'm living proof of it, okay? But you're fucking powerful. Like, that is my main message. That's God's message to you, right? Is just don't you dare give your power away to people. You can do it. I can't tell you, I've done dark shit, okay? When I was living in ignorance and fear and lower vibration, right? I've hurt people. I because I wasn't aware the traumas that I'd gone through in childhood, I wasn't fully aware of them, okay? I thought I was, right? But I wasn't. And so I was acting automatically in that animal state. Like you're not conscious properly, okay? It's like you're not conscious, right? So you go around and you do things that you don't want to do. Your soul doesn't want to do that. It's because you're living from your subconscious, like things are just coming up, and it's there actually to teach you, right? But if you don't take responsibility and tell the truth about that, let's say you've done something bad, you need to tell the truth about that, because the more you don't, the more it keeps happening, and the more you're like, oh my God, and have to justify it and hide it, and you become, your soul starts to leave you. Soul loss, dissociation, which disconnects you from your body, which disconnects you from your gut and your intuition, okay? That's the process, right? And so it's only when we start again, number one, tell the truth, go to God. Look, he's holding the light, so he's accepted God in the infinite, and he's looking at the dark. And you have to just cut that shit and tell the truth and say to people, I'm sorry. And people will hate you, people will talk about you, but it's okay, because God forgives you in the truth, right? And then God will let you understand why you did these things, and you can forgive yourself, okay? It's not about perfection. It's not about what you've done. It's about making the decision to tell the truth and better yourself. And you might be worried, like, what if this always happens? It doesn't. So as soon as you tell the truth, that's the cord cut. As soon as you decide, I will never lie, that's it. That's when God is like, hey baby, come here, I got you, right? And he will build you up from 0, from 1, up. And you'll have that guidance. You won't be in that fear and doubt anymore. I mean, you will, right? Because it's a process, as I've said. But you'll keep getting less fearful and doubtful. And then you'll know, like, I never have to worry. Like, the unknown won't be scary, because you know that the unknown is the path that God is leading you down to give you a beautiful life, your dream life. And you'll be abundant, powerful, and able to stand alone. Once you're able to stand alone, no one can fuck with you, okay? Because you don't need that. It's also powerful when you're connected to the divine yourself, because again, you're not going out there for other people's corrupt versions. Like, their biases will come through if you ask advice from other people. Obviously there's genuine people, right? But it still doesn't matter. You need to just go to God, like, yourself, right? But the main message is, you're powerful, you can do this. 133. And I love you. Make good choices, not bad excuses. Seek the truth, listen to your gut, and God loves you. God's proud of you. You can do it, okay? Amen. Right? Take your power back. Don't be fucking with no one. It's your dream life. It's your life, okay? All right, amen.